All right, we are live. Hello and welcome, everybody. We have a very exciting and mechanically daunting show for you today because we have the brilliant Doug Sandler with us from Turnkey Podcast, and we have Michelle Nedelec, one of our brand new hosts in the JVology community of the podcast. And yours is called, Michelle?
Business Ownership Podcast.
Business Ownership Podcast. Awesome. And I, of course, am your host, Jay Fazette. I am the founder of JVology, the perfect mix of people, fun, and profit. Now, we got a cool show going on for you today. And here's what's happening is with the support, actually, you know what? I got to back up a little bit. So for those of you who don't know what JVology is, let me give you like the 2-second rundown. So it's called JVology, the perfect mix of people, fun, and profit. We help entrepreneurs and small business folks basically redesign their business model so that they use joint ventures to generate a steady stream of free, perfectly qualified leads at the front of their business and set up recurring passive income at the back end of their business by taking care of their clients better and solving the problems that they have in a more comprehensive manner. Now, we bring together communities of people that do that. You know, my dear friend Doug, nice guy number one.
That's true.
Yes, there is a nice guy number two. I'm not sure if we're going to see him today, but people like Doug are part of our community who help one another actually build these business models. Now, Doug is from a company called Turnkey Podcast. He joined our joint venture mastery program in the end of February in San Diego, and he and his partner Strickland really lived this idea of a joint ventures are a game of I'll go first. And they came into our community and said, hey, who wants to start a podcast? Which, by the way, is a fascinating and powerful platform to share and to feature community, tribe, guests, opportunities, JV partners. And they put us through a program. And today we have how many podcasts launching?
We have 20 shows that are launching today, all from that JVology group. We started with 39, and I think some of them just said, I just don't want to keep up with this pace. So, which was fine. But I think this is great. I mean, all those that started the program actually completed the program. There's 3 that we're just waiting on the links from Apple Podcasts, but 21 shows are launching today. And this is our biggest launch yet in one time. I'm so excited.
Well, it's a hell of an accomplishment. Sorry, I got cables everywhere underneath my feet. Are like, what the hell's going on down there? And by the way, I'm honored and thrilled to be one of the folks who did that. It has been on my list for a long while.
I'm trying to adjust my head size so that I'm at the same level. I don't want to be higher or lower than you. Keep doing that. Stop it.
And by the way, if I keep doing this, it's because you know what a Dracaena is? Those like spiky plants.
I know what a Dracaena marginata is. Is that the same thing? My mom taught me that in botany as I was growing up.
Big springy things that are pokey.
Oh, geez. Tell me you didn't poke your eye.
I totally did. Like I was moving the pot and it was like, clunk, and I swear to God, it's like I can't really see out of it. And it's like all foggy and it hurts like a son of a bitch.
You have 3 days to fix that because we got important shit to do in 3 days. All right.
Yeah. So if I come to JVology Live looking like a pirate.
Oh, boy.
Anyway, so back to the point, which is this. 20 podcasts launch, and we all busted our ass with the tremendous support of you, Strickland, your company, Turnkey Podcast, and we all wanted to get it done before JVology Live, which is another one of the ways for those of you who aren't familiar with our process that we support people to bring together a couple of hundred entrepreneurs. We teach what is a joint venture, how do you do a joint venture? We hold your hand, and then we give you the people to do joint ventures with. And it was like, man, if we could have those podcasts ready, we could really do a miraculous amount of service for the community. Yeah. So we have thus far succeeded. Woohoo! And today we are going to feature and introduce you to a whole bunch of new podcast hosts. And we're going to ask you to do a couple things for us as you're watching the show. First and foremost, actually, let me be very clear about this. We share these things all over God's green earth on Facebook and links and all the rest of it. We can only see your comments if you come to our page. So if you're watching it somewhere, just go up where it says like Jay Fazette above the video, click on that. It'll take you to the broadcast page. And then over in the chat, come and say hello. And what we're going to do is this. Doug's going to tell us about podcasts. If you ever wondered about having a podcast, if you ever wondered about what the strength or the benefit of having a podcast is, Doug's going to download his wisdom. Then we're going to meet a whole bunch of these new podcast guests. You guys are going to go visit the podcast pages. You're going to subscribe to the ones that are interesting to you. You're going to give them you're going to listen to the episodes. You're going to give them amazing reviews. And we're going to collaborate, just as JVology always teaches, collaborate and help get these podcasts out into the world and into the ears and the hearts and the minds of the people who love those topics. Did I miss anything in that there, Doug?
I just wanted to add one thing. I know your whole strategy, your whole philosophy has always been, not a strategy, but the philosophy has always been, I'll go first. Can you go first twice? Am I allowed to go first twice here can I even give a gift before I even say anything else about what we're going to do?
You know what? The grounding of generosity at JVology and from Turnkey Podcast knows no limits. So you go to town.
All right. So anybody that is listening to this right now, and again, if you have not yet signed up for JVology Live, I don't know what the hell's going on over in Jay's house, but I have no idea. If you have not signed up for JVology Live yet, here's what we're going to do. We're going to do all of this again. You sign up for JVology Live, you go to Jay's event, go to his link. I don't even care if you use my affiliate link, because whatever, it doesn't matter. If I see you there, I'll know that you came as a result of me, because you'll be the first one that say, I want to launch my podcast through JVology Live. We did it for everybody that was in JVology Live free, and we will do that again. We have a launch that is coming up just in, I think, 2 weeks at the end of June. If you sign up for JVology Live and you're attending the event and you're an active participant and you don't just show up just to get the free pass to get a podcast. If you sign up, you actually participate in the group, you have a free podcast launch through JVology Live, and I will do this launch again with you. Okay. Woo! So I hope to get another 50, because I think we can top 20. I know with the launch, we're probably going to be emailing to, I think I counted close to 1 million emails are going to go out over the next 3 weeks for this program. Those that are in this are going to be doing it free. If you're a part of JVology Live, you can't just show up and just say, I want my free podcast. You have to participate, an active participant in the program. And
let's be clear about this. It's $1,000 program, or is it?
Well, it's a $497 program the way that we're doing it through the special. It will be a $1,500 program, but we are going to be offering it through the launch, and we'll get there. I'm not even worried about what we're going to charge for it. It's a value program, I promise you that.
Well, and that's the thing. In fact, just to be clear about it, having gone through it and had a bunch of the tribe go through it, it was like I was trying to encourage you guys to up your prices because the value proposition is phenomenal. So, but here's the reason I just want people to know is that sometimes when people hear the free gift, it's like, yeah. But it's like, you need to know that this is worth, in my humble opinion, it's a $2,000 program, and to understand what it is, to get the stuff done, to know what the mechanics are. Because honest God, I've been resisting launching a podcast now for like 7 years.
I know. I can't believe that. I can't believe it. Well, the thing that we're really trying to get out of JVology, if we're going to look at from what we're trying to figure out how we do this, we want everybody that's at JVology Live to become a partner, a JV partner of ours, so we can promote this to your tribe. Because putting Jay through the program was great, but putting Jay through the program so he can understand that what it takes to launch a podcast, that will really sell to those that are in his community. So everybody that we've launched, all 20 of them, we're hoping that all 20 of you people that have launched shows with us, Ann and Monica and Charisse and Gloria and Robin and Michelle and James and Petra and Charisse, I said, and Nancy and Gloria and Vishali and Brad and Mustafa and Tom and Mitchell and Heather and Jay and Robin and Monica and Ann and Jay and Scott. Everybody that we've put through the program, we want you to be partners. Don't resist. You can't control this. Don't resist. We put you through it. You know what it takes to go through it, and we want you to share that with your community.
And it's easier than I had it made up in my head. Like, my resistance wasn't about a podcast. It was like, God damn it, if I do this, then it's one more thing I have to add to the list to consistently take care of and keep on top of, and all that was my trouble spot. But with your support, it was much easier than I had ever hoped.
And Michelle says it right in the comments. If you ever thought about doing a podcast, this is a no-brainer. We want to make it as no-brainer scientific as possible. It's a no-brainer. It's free. All you got to do is show up and participate in JVology Live. If you're listening to this, you got $500 in your pocket, or $1,000 or $2,000 just for participating, because that's the value of the program.
And I just realized that I've been typing in things here to support this conversation, and I've been putting it in the private chat, which is going to be super duper helpful for people watching. And it's like, why isn't that working? Why can't I pop that up on the screen? What the hell's going on? Like, let's try and press the correct button.
Yeah,
see
that's
how that
okay.
goes.
Yeah, we've enjoyed doing this so much because the people that are in JVology, they really understand, hey, the best way for me to be able to promote this to my community is to go through this. And that way, firsthand, you don't have to send out an email saying my buddy Doug, is introducing this program. If my buddy Doug is not really my buddy, the people that have been through this program, the 20 or so that have been through it, I'm hoping, and this way I feel, you're like my kids. You're like my brothers. You're like my parents.
You
You're
do
like
not want me as a kid, just to be clear. I was a problem child. In fact, I might be a problem adult, but you do not want that.
Well, it's the greatest experience, and forget just the idea of it's a podcast. Hey, it's a great way to stop being the best kept secret in the world. If you want to build community influence and make money, I mean, we literally make hundreds of thousands of dollars from our show every year, and I want to share that skill set with everybody that's in JVology. And again, there's no cost to it, so it does not make any sense not to be engaged in this process.
I am with you 100%. All right, so we're getting to the spot where we're going to start featuring some of our cool hosts. What should, as we go through this, what should, if somebody's like, damn, I think I should do that, like top 3 things that they absolutely need to sort of get clear in their head and their heart to do really well at hosting a podcast. Like, just give us some chapter titles for people who are like, seems intriguing, but I don't know what the hell.
You know what? While it's
consider
as intriguing for what's the consideration, let's talk about the myths for just a second. Number one, It's really technical, so there's a lot of tech and time involved in that. That's false. With less than $300 in equipment, really, really easy to get started. Second, you need to be a celebrity in order to make this happen to grow an audience. Absolutely not. I'm not a celebrity. My first podcast episode was downloaded 7 times. We now have 4 million downloads of our podcast. We're 5 years later into this. The third thing is you have to be charismatic. You do not have to be. You just have to be able to be a good question maker, a question asker in order to be a good host of a podcast. Those 3 things, if you can dispel those myths and come to us with the non-limiting beliefs that you can't do it, you actually can do it. Oh, what's going on?
Okay. James, Lamb, me, and Corey. Corey, you have to get over. Corey and I love you. We've been checking. You got to go ahead.
Hey, Corey.
I can't get in. Oh,
there you go. Thank you. By the way, James is one of the hosts that you're going to meet shortly. Deeply appreciate it. And see, a little bit of hassling and direct asking and guilt induction delivers wine.
I got my wine bottle last week, so I must have rated higher than you, Jay.
Clearly. Okay, sorry to interrupt your. So you just have to be a good question crafter. You don't have to have charisma. Thank you.
Yes, and it's all about practice. Whatever you're doing right now for a living, you weren't good at it before you started doing it, and before you started doing it many times. I've done over 1,000 episodes, 1,100 episodes of the Nice Guys on Business podcast. I can promise you, I was really bad at interviewing early on. And I'm still not great, but I'm practicing and I'm practicing. In the meantime, though, I'm making a very good living doing what I love doing, which is asking people questions about their life, coming at it from a position of 3rd grade curiosity and getting started. If high visibility is what you want, if making money is what you want, if having a great marketing tool for business development is what you want, podcasting is an absolute essential ingredient in all of those things, and you can do that.
I love it. I love it. I love it. And I'm really looking forward to working with you in the ongoing production to make it easy for our podcast to get stuff done. So on that note, let's meet some hosts and find out about their shows. Now, are you going to hang out and hassle them through this process? Or
no, I'm going to let them take the spotlight. I mean, these guys are great and they've gone through the program. I don't need to be here and handhold them through the process. They got it. And I want to just sit back and listen to the conversation. So if it's okay with you, I'm just going to go over to live stream on Facebook and check it out.
Totally awesome.
Thanks, brother. I'll see you on Thursday.
You betcha. Thanks, Doug. Talk soon.
Okay.
All right. So on that note, then I am going to bring my dear friend Michelle over onto the show. Hey, Michelle, how are you?
Hey, good. How are you?
I am really, really good, with the exception of blind in one eye.
I was having sympathy pains for you there for a while. I'm going, oh man.
It's like one of those dumbest things ever. Literally, so as I'm moving a thing, so I lean over, and it's like, ah!
I will hug my cactus. I love you, cactus.
I should get one of those head cams on, and I could have a video podcast. Dumb shit Jay does. Anyway, on that note,
it's an inspiration to all of us that we don't have to be really smart to make money.
I am so glad that I could help lower the bar for that. Okay, so So first and foremost, I want to just say thank you for arranging this and putting this together in terms of all the busyness we got going on JVology Live. I am absolutely thrilled about it. So we're going to try and crank through these things at like a minute a pop. Yes.
Minute and pop.
Okay. So
if you can do it.
I'll start the stopwatch and you tell us about your show, and I'm going to try and get your page up so that we can actually look at it. Or I guess we should just put the link in. It's going to be easier, right?
I will put the link in just because I'm taking that on as my responsibility. So let me do that.
I was going to do it for you, but if you're doing it for you, that's awesome. Let's go to town.
There we go. Awesome. So I'll give you my finest podcast voice. This is a business ownership podcast. We're transforming your business from solopreneur to business owner who can walk away from day-to-day operations can seem impossible. Each Monday, Michelle Nedelec, executive coach and creative director of Awareness Strategies, interviews CEOs and masters of business to help entrepreneurs navigate the waters of entrepreneurship and find ways to bring their products and services to light in the business world. If you're an entrepreneur with brilliant ideas who's busting to get on the world stage, then this podcast is for you.
That is awesome.
And if you like my voice, just come and listen anyway. I am totally good with that.
Well, and here's the thing. So the link is in the chat, and my direct request, by the way, gang, is as you meet someone, it's like, hey, that sounds interesting. You go to you visit the page, you subscribe to the podcast, you listen to it, and you leave a 5-star review. Okay, so here's the other thing. Not only does she have a wicked voice, she is smart as hell. She has won all sorts of awards. She has taught and certified hypnotherapists. So you'll get like the whole induction of the voice and all of that. I'm
just don't listen
slightly.
to while you're driving. I'm kidding. I'm not doing that.
I know, I'm teasing. Okay, so tell me one more thing before we move on, which is this. And I love the introduction. You have a wicked sense of humor. Are you going to? Are you? Well, yeah, I think you have to, but I just want to say it for the rest of the folks. Because it sounded very businessy, but I know that you have a wry and wicked sense of humor, and I'm assuming that is going to be brought to the show.
That will be brought to the show. I cannot escape the show. However, there are, of course, some people that are more businessy than others. I did interview Jonathan Bengal yesterday, and my half-hour interview went into 3 hours. And I think we have the birth of the Little Blue Pill for Business. So if you want something that's a little more edgy, that's probably the show for you.
Excellent. He's the naked tax talk guy. Were you
and
dressed?
We talk sex.
Hey,
it was a little more than edgy. I think we went over the edge, but hey, it was fun.
Send over the link. You know, I'll listen.
Awesome.
Right, Michelle,
have fun, guys. Much. I like 5s.
Yes. All right, Mr. Brad Mooney, I am coming your way. There you go. Hello, sir. How are you?
I'm good. I don't know if I want to follow that, though.
I don't know what to say about that. you have. I actually really like. I really like the title of yours and the topic of your podcast because it is a very unique specialty. So give us the rundown.
Yes, the podcast is called The ABCs of Craft Beer. We've called it the ABCs for the art, the business, and the community of craft beer, and that's what we're going to talk about. It's actually a strange thing for us to be into. We're actually digital marketers, and one of the areas of business that we help are the craft brewing industry. So I figured, I love beer. I've been making beer for a long time, making wine. I figured, well, what way can we help that group of people? So I am going to put on this podcast, interview them, bring in the owners and the players in the community, talk about the art of making beer, how you make beer, how you make it taste, all that. The business, why they're in the business, what their business is, how they do their business, and the community, because a lot of these guys are actually very key to the community, very centralized in a location. They may have a pub room that is sort of the key to the community, all the way up to producing and distributing across the country. So those are the 3, I think, big topics that are very important for craft beer industry. So we're going to bring that together and then create a blog of all of them together with where they're at and who they are, so people can find them as well. So if you are in a certain locale and you want to find people locally in your community, you'll be able to do that as well.
That is awesome. And I am just, I don't know if you have your link because I want to make sure we drive the link over, but I'm looking in my spreadsheet and I can't find your link. I'm hoping that either you or Michelle has it to pop in there.
I assume she has it and she'll throw it in the right spot.
There we go. No. I found it. One of those things where you're looking right at it and it's like, where the hell is it? One of those. All right. We will get your link in there. And for any of you who are in that space, interested in craft beer, interested in the community around it, because it really is an exploding industry. There's
a lot of people in it that are out there, but there's still less than 10% of all beer that is actually produced and consumed is from the craft beer industry. Like all the big guys are still making big volumes of stuff, but the craft brew is a unique group of people. Very unique products, quite the characters themselves. So that I think there should be great entertainment.
I love it. All right, brother. Congratulations on the new show. I look forward to listening. We will talk soon, and we are bringing on our next guest. See you later, sir. We are bringing on our next guest. I got to manage all of our little people here. There we go. I got too many buttons to press today. So you just gotta give me a moment or two. There we go. And the brilliant, the generous, the amazing James Lamb, who arranged a perfectly timed delivery. And I need to know here. I'm trying to get the button to get you in there, brother. There we go. How you doing?
Good. You have wine that butters you up. It's okay. I think I earned at least an extra minute more anyways.
I am open to bribery, as you well know. So I have no qualms about that whatsoever.
You only had to ask 18 times and then it was fulfilled. So there you go. I mean, most people say follow up 3 or 4 times. You followed up 18 times and it's all good.
It was wine. It was worth it. Now, on a serious note, did you time it for now, or did it just happen to turn out that way? Is what I'm attempting to say.
Honestly, it wasn't me. I have to give props to God for God for perfectly.
All right, awesome. Okay, tell us about your show, brother.
Sure. My show is called 3 Steps to Thrive, and I've done about a dozen podcast interviews, and I love it. So the 3 Steps to Thrive is a business show, and it brings on successful entrepreneurs. Every entrepreneur we get to know a little bit better, but more importantly, they leave 3 practical, actionable, and simple steps for business owners to take back and improve themselves or improve their business. So it's super practical. It's for people who don't like reading and want to improve themselves anyways. How does that sound? Is that reasonable?
Well, yeah. I mean, let's be clear. Many entrepreneurs are illiterate, so probably listening is better. So the 3 steps. I want to just be clear about this, because there are so many what I'm going to call micro niche tactics that people can sort of get lost in. But you take a much more robust and global view about it. Do you want to just talk about how you came to that really quickly?
Sure. Wait.
I just have to set this up. So if any of the rest of you would like more time like James, you do know where to send the wine. Carry on, sir.
Yep. Yeah, look, I think part of the challenge is a lot of people fill in their niche, get famous by filling in a niche. And in this case, we're able to take a much more surface, much more global approach to it. And so the beauty of it is that everybody here, I leave it intentionally ambiguous. So some people leave mindset things. I spoke to Paige Stevenson the other day. And so she talked about spiritual things. Some people talk about marketing things like Michelle Nedelak. I have to talk about this for a second, because to me, it's a big deal. I set up a podcast with Dr. Manisha White, and Dr. Manisha White is an African-American, and we didn't speak about business. The entire purpose of the podcast was to talk about African-Americans doing business in America and the challenge that they have. And I love this stuff because I'm able to ask interesting questions and get deeper than what I normally would in normal conversation.
Perfect. I love that. All right, brother. So here's the deal. if you're interested in the broad view about business, James has tremendous expertise in the digital marketing world. He can hold your hand through a bunch of different things. His depth of entrepreneurial experience is incredibly broad, and he attracts a hell of a tribe. Not to mention, he's got one of those wicked voices that if you need if you need a podcast introduction, he's your man. All right, thank you, brother.
Thanks, Jay.
Appreciate you. All right, next on our list, we have got to, I got to figure out how to get that a little bit higher. Miss Vishali. Miss Vishali. Let me get you. I'm getting there. I got two monitors I'm trying to navigate my way through. And I think I got you, my dear. There we go.
All right.
Okay.
Hi.
Good to see you.
Nice to
How are
see
you?
you. Sorry, I'm having some equipment problems. I'm holding the phone in my hand.
It's funny because I was looking, it's like, I can only see her forehead. Okay. You are on, my dear. Tell us about your show. There we go. Perfect. You're looking great.
So my show is called The Uncanny Link. And it's about what happens when physics meets metaphysics. So it's how someone can optimize their decision-making skills. And I'll just give a short example. And I'm going to send you wine, so I've earned one more minute.
Or the wine has to be here before you get the minute. I have fallen for that before. I got to tell you. Carry on, my dear.
So I was debating whether or not I should go to New Orleans, and I kept looking at reading for it, and I didn't want to go. So I ended up going, and that's where I met you. And
Yes.
it seemed like, so on the surface, it seemed like it was just a minor trip to a conference in New Orleans. And what happened is I met you, and that led me to JVology, and that led me to doing the podcast, which was like not on my list of things to do at all. So even though it seems like a really minor decision, it turned out to be something really big. So that's how, so people just look on the surface, but there's a lot more to it than that. And I kind of saw through it. That's why I ended up in New Orleans, but I wasn't planning to go.
Oh, you froze on me, my dear. There we go.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, yes, and there we go. We're back. And I do really believe, in many ways, that those kinds of trusting the process and posing the question is really fascinating. And you actually did a reading for me with a couple of questions when we first met that absolutely felt on and true. And I don't know if reading is the right thing, but you helped me go through and pose a question that was really powerful. So the Uncanny Link, for anyone who's looking for this idea of metaphysics and, I missed that other part, metaphysics and
Physics and metaphysics.
physics and metaphysics together. Beautiful. All right. So check out the show. The link is in the chat window. Go to it, listen to it, subscribe to it, give a 5-star review to it, and we will see you all very soon. Thank you, Vishali. Really appreciate you.
Thank you.
All right. Okay. Miss Petra. Now, Michelle, just the way it's looking here, I think this is Petra, but her head is cut off. No, it's not. Okay. That didn't work out the way I thought. So let me just bear with me a second or two here. And I think what we're going to do is we're going to go to Charisse. And I think there's a limitation on the number of people that can be in the show. So I'm just going to jump in terms of the order that we have them down. So Miss Charisse Alexander, how are you, my dear? Good to see you.
I'm good. Can you hear me?
Perfectly. And
Okay,
and
good.
it feels like you and I are hanging out on Facebook a fair chunk these days.
Yep. Thank you to hashtag COVID. We're having a lot of good quality virtual time together.
That is true. And you know what I just realized is I keep setting the alarm for the 1 minute, but
Right.
But I have all of the alarms and sounds and buzzers turned off. So it's been super helpful.
Yep.
I'll try it
There's
again.
that.
There is that. Okay. So, my dear, you have a fascinating show that I am totally intrigued about. Bring it on.
So my show is called The TNG Podcast, and it is the #1 place to geek out in the Alpha Quadrant about all things Star Trek: The Next Generation. So I'm really excited about this show because it's a little different from everything else you guys have been hearing about. It's not a business show in any way, shape, or form. It is just fandom about Star Trek. But what's exciting about it is that as a business, I am a business networking coach, and I really believe in the value of connection and how that can take your business anywhere you want it to go. And that's my big idea with this podcast, is that I'm going to be using relationships. My co-host and I are going to be using relationships and leveraging those connections in order to make our podcast the #1 Star Trek Next Generation podcast in the world.
Okay. So, favorite character from TNG?
Data, 100%.
Really? Okay. How come?
So he is an artificial life form, for those of you who are unfamiliar with this show. And what I love about him is he's always kind of studying humanity because he wants to figure out how people work. And that's the same thing that I do. And I've always been like that since I was a kid, kind of like, why do people do what they do? Why do we work this way? And so I've always felt like a kindred spirit to Data.
Cool. And for those of you that don't watch this show, just think of Sheldon from The Big Bang Theory, except as an android.
With face paint.
Yes,
it's
with
pretty
face
much the
paint.
same thing, and less annoying.
Really? I was sure you were going to say Picard.
Is that your favorite character?
I think so. Yeah,
Okay.
I think so.
Why is that?
He just had a dignified way, even in the middle of the shitstorms of whatever transpired, of navigating his way through. And he was certainly my favorite captain of all of those.
Yeah, he's definitely a solid leader, somebody to very much admire and follow, even though he's a fictional character. He's pretty cool.
I would have to agree. All right. So any of you interested in Star Trek, interested in the study of humanity, interested in Charisse and her co-host's brilliant perspective of distilling that in terms of the human experience, go see the TNG podcast. Of course, 3 things. Listen, subscribe, 5-star rating, and Charisse, good luck with the show. I will absolutely check that out and listen, even if I have a filter for a better character.
Thanks so much, Jay. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. Talk soon.
Bye.
All right, Robin, you are coming in, and I'm starting to get the hang of these 2 things happening. How are you today, Robin?
I'm fabulous. How are you?
You know
Other
what?
than your eye.
Other than being blind in one eye, I am pretty awesome, and I am totally enjoying finding out more of the actual shows that people have been working on. I know that I think all of us in this process with Doug and Strick were just like a little bit blinders on for trying to get our own stuff done, and I'm just loving hearing everybody's process.
Yeah, I love hearing everyone as well.
Okay, so tell us about your show, please.
It's called A Life of Choice, and it's hard to know what we don't know. We're stuck in the fishbowl, we're swimming in the water, and without some other perspective, we don't really see how we can have more freedom and choice in our life. So what I want to do is bring some awareness to both our personal and professional lives. And I find a lot of people kind of compartmentalize parts of their life, and we really need to have that wholeness. So my journey started with cancer 20 years ago and really shifted my perspective. So that's my goal. And I know so many different things and areas. So I really want to bring in like everything from metaphysics to sciences to business to the Enneagram, all these different things that I do, motivation. So both perspectives from myself and also guests to just really think about how can I have something different or see things different in my life.
Very cool. And does it tie back to facing illness as one of the foundational pieces, or is it broader than that in terms of a life of choice?
Much broader. That was just my journey. And really, I don't want others to have to go through that kind of serious illness to actually have that shift in their life.
Right.
So what can we do? It's like, you don't have to have a problem to have a problem, right? It's like, we don't know what we don't know. So for example, maybe I'm going out and doing something that doesn't feel in alignment. What can I do to feel in alignment and feel more comfortable with who I am? And that's going to present better to everyone in our life, personal relationships, business relationships.
I love it, Robin. So go check out A Life of Choice. And let's be clear about it. It is the core driver about the quality of all of our lives, is how we're going to frame, make, and participate in the choices that we have. So visit it. subscribe, listen, 5 stars, all of the above. Thank you so much for being here, Robin. I truly appreciate you.
Thank you.
All right. I'm getting the hang of the buttons here ever so slowly. Miss Heather Pierce Campbell, haven't seen you for a very long time. How are you?
I'm good. How are you? I was busy commenting on your Facebook page.
I have seen the comments. I've been trying to show them as much as I possibly can.
How are you doing?
You know what? I am really, really well. I just quality time. No, not really. And it has been intense. I just have to say before we dive into your show, I admire your juggling like you would not believe. And as our boys get a little bit older and it's like, whew, I remember those times and I am glad we're past them.
Yeah, I unless you've been in my house, I wouldn't talk about admiring my juggling. I appreciate the sentiment, but yeah, a lot of days I'm like, where can I go find a bed and just sleep for like 4 days? But
it won't be this weekend.
By. Yeah. Not this weekend.
No, it won't. All right. Tell us about your show. And and I figured out how to get the stopwatch going here. So away we go.
Excellent. So my show is called Guts, Grit, and Great Business. And really, so a couple things. I mean, 2 months ago, if you'd asked me about a podcast, I'd been like, no. And then I took the course and I was like, yes, right? So what I realized is I just love talking business with people. And I do that a lot every week. And I thought, why not just do this on a podcast? And in light of current circumstances, do it around certain themes that I think make a lot of sense. And
yes.
Anybody in entrepreneurship knows, you got to have guts. Grit is the thing that gets you through the hard times. And, and just life generally, I think is really hard on quite a few folks right now. And so my big interest in this podcast is bringing people on who have some pretty serious business chops and to really talk about what happens when we are in those hard places and how we actually have opportunities because of constraint to make some of the best decisions that we need to make. And that sometimes without that constraint, we actually don't make those changes. So I really just want to help people endure and have a great mindset about even the toughest times and get through it and keep building what they're here to build.
I love that. And just to add to that, for people who don't know, is that you're a lawyer. You specialize, or part of your business, specializing in helping people get their online ducks in a row to make sure that they are all copacetic. I'm a very happy and thrilled client of yours, and your breadth of experience is stunning. So I will absolutely be listening and doing my very best to support that. So go to see Guts, Grit, and Great Business. Make sure that you do all the same things. Listen, subscribe, 5-star rating, and I look forward to hanging out with you this weekend at JVology Live, where you're going to be sharing a bunch of your wisdom around that whole process of getting our legal butts covered online.
Yes, that's right. I can't wait. And I have to comment on James' funny comment. Even if you don't listen for my voice, listen for the guy that does my intro on my show. My new buddy Wes from Fiverr. He's got a great voice. Yeah.
Awesome. My new buddy Wes from Fiverr. That's awesome.
James messaged me and he's like, nothing against you, but I would listen to your show just for the intro. So that made me laugh.
All right. I got to get to it after JVology Live. I will absolutely do that.
That's all right. All right. Okay. Thanks, Jay.
Thank you. Talk soon.
Yep,
okay.
Bye.
So I have on my list here, Michelle, that I have Glory up next, but I don't see her in the green room. Do you have any wisdom about what's going on for her? But you are.
I do not. However, we will just pop her in when she shows up. So just next in line.
All right. Tom Birchall, you are up, brother. Let me get you posted in here. There we go. Doodly doodly doo. Go. Clicker go.
Hey, JJ.
How are you, brother?
I'm doing well. Are you keeping busy and having fun?
1 out of 2 isn't bad.
Is it the busy one or the fun one?
I'll let you determine that.
My guess it's the busy one.
No, actually, things are going really,
Next
really
week
well.
one may be a little more fun. You're probably busier than a one-arm paper hanger right now with the event showing up in just a couple days.
Yes, I've added expletives. Busier than a one-armed wallpaper hanger in the wind on a rickety ladder. You're up, brother. Tell us about your show.
It's all about business, all to do about business. It's a lifelong journey. I'm a third generation entrepreneur and I've just been around it. I've had Think and Grow Rich in my hand since I was a kid, about 12 years old. And Dad said, build businesses, get experience. And I said, well, I want to be a coach. He's like, well, nice, but don't be one of those guys that have never run a business. And so I've built about 12. The last one I grew up to $25 million. We got up to 8 figures in about 5 years. And so I've been documenting my processes and I want to share what my journey's been, because it was tough when I started business. 6 months after I started this last business was in 2002, and the economy tanked. Layoffs were happening. I got laid off the second time with around 7,000 people, and there were just no jobs to have. And I started this business, and my dad died 6 months later, and it was a tough thing. My go-to guy was gone, and so I've been being that go-to guy for folks. And so this podcast is all about all things business. I got stuff I'll share of my own, and then bring in people that are experts in different areas to interview them as well, so folks don't have to.
All right. I love it. I love it. And the name of the show is The Profitable Maverick. And I like that you do things in a different way and in a bold way. And if you're looking for support and strategy, because you've got to gain an incredibly broad range of skills, that's going to be an awesome experience. So well done. So go check out The Profitable Maverick. The link is in the chat. Make sure that you subscribe, listen, 5-star review, and good luck on the new show. It's going to be awesome.
Thanks. We'll catch up soon.
Okay. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right. So I am bringing you back in, Michelle, because I just need a little more guidance as we're going through our process here, because we've gone a little longer than we've thought. And I still see people in the green room, but I don't see them on the list. So what am I doing?
You're just not on your second list yet. That's all. You're doing fine. Yep. I gave you 3 lists actually. So you had a little bit of a time block in between them, but with the kind of fattening up of their times, you have made a solid show of it. So you're doing awesome.
Okay. So
I think if you just go in order in your waiting room, you'll be just fine. And I will figure out whose link is where and you're good to go. So Nancy's up.
Nancy's up. Now, Nancy, I don't have a video stream from you, my dear, but maybe you don't have one, but that's okay. Nancy, give us the rundown of your show, please, if you can hear me.
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
We got you, my dear.
Okay. I just didn't turn the video on, so I had it, but that's okay. That works. This works. So my podcast is the Productivity Podcast. So productivity is the key to making the most out of every day and every hour of your life, to achieving goals, to have them, any goals that you have in front of you, easily completing projects in your life. And in work and business, it's the difference between being profitable minimally and being hugely profitable. This podcast will provide practical information on how to be productive, effective, efficient, and to reach your goals more quickly and to make more money in your business. I'm going to share my insights and experience of over 20 years of taking productivity to the next level, including operational and service optimizations, as well as interview others who've made bold moves and successes in improving productivity in their life and in their business. So anyone wanting to understand how to best protect and make the most of your most precious resource, the Productivity Podcast is for you.
I like it. And here's the honest goodness truth: with today's distractions and the amount of things that are going on everywhere in the world, I think this is of utmost importance. So please check out Nancy's show, the Productivity Podcast. Click the link, go listen, visit, rate. And Nancy, thank you so much for being with us. I truly appreciate you.
Thank you.
All right. You're welcome. All right, Ms. Virginia Mooskies. You and I keep chatting on Facebook, like passing it in the weirdo hours of the day. So,
it's all good.
It's good to see you.
It's all good.
And just to be clear about this, I was actually on your show. That was right when we first met at Steve Olsher's podcast, something. So it's an awesome show. Tell us about it.
It's called the Business by Referral Podcast. And I invite and interview entrepreneurs who rely on the power of connection and the cultivation of community to grow their business and change the world.
I like that. So tell us.
Me too.
So clearly I was on the show, so the bar isn't set that high for guests.
Well, no, you're funny. No, listen, the reason that I do it is one of the reasons that I do it is to actually have a give back. It's an I'll go first method. So capitalizing on what you teach at JVology, it really is, podcasting can really be a way to say to somebody, I admire you and I'd like to show you off to my friends. It's good for them. It's good for me. So you rank up there high, honey. Don't you worry about it.
You know I'm teasing you. I appreciate your sense of humor. Okay, so when they're listening, what are their prime takeaways? You still got a couple moments.
Prime takeaways are always going to be ways for connecting, getting through your scarcity mindset into your abundant highest self, so that you can really help other people, and through helping other people understand the power of giving, but not only that, learning how to receive.
That is awesome. I'm trying to get this one. There's so many chats. There we go. Her message is so powerful. Yes, it is.
Thank you, Shrees.
All right, my dear. Looking forward to hanging out with you this weekend at JVology Live. It's going to be awesome. I have about 13 more things to do, and then we're going to get a time.
We're awesome. You're good. You go. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right. Mr. Scott Brown. I hit the wrong button. I'm coming back to you, Mr. Scott Brown. There we go. How the heck are you, sir?
Okay, how are you doing?
I am awesome. You and let me get the stopwatch going.
The fact that you killed my button.
I killed your button.
You killed my button makes me wonder.
People keep moving in and out of the room, and everybody at the bottom of my screen keeps moving. 1 minute, brother. Go to town.
Okay, hi, I'm Scott Brown. I'm a female CEO specialist, and there's good reason for this, which I'll be sharing in the episodes. The podcast is Female CEO Secrets. It's designed to be an interactive podcast, which that should be interesting to see if we can make that work. And it's launching this week. I'm revealing strategic secrets that equip you to move forward, further, faster. This is designed for female CEOs, female entrepreneurs, and other highly ambitious women of influence, because most business solutions out there focus on the business. But Jay, as you know, I focus on her. Bottom line, she's poured her blood, sweat, and tears into the business. Isn't it time for a business to love her back?
I love the grounding of that. Here's the thing that I know to be true about you is that you're a man.
Sorry, my internet's not working real good.
Okay. I was just going to say that you're a man who cares and connects in meaningful and powerful ways. And I have a dog that's having a conniption fit. So make sure that I want to make sure we get your. There we go. New comments. We have so many comments. I got to scroll up to get yours on the screen. Here we go. There we go. So female CEO secrets.
I was going to say, if you could also put, there's an app that I'm using along with this. If you could put that app address up on the screen. We're already on Spotify, Stitcher, and a couple other ones, but we haven't gotten the iTunes clearance just yet.
Okay.
So just another way to get in touch with me, and then I can provide them with a link if they can't find it on their favorite platform.
Okay, awesome. And I will ask Michelle to do that, because I don't know where that is in terms of these pieces, but we'll absolutely share that for you so that people can find you and get that going for you. And I see Michelle looks like she's working on it as we speak. All right, brother. We'll see you this weekend.
Cool. Okay. Thank you.
Can't wait. All right. Jay Miller, you are up. How the heck are you?
Good. How are you?
I am awesome. I am really excited to hear about your show. Fill us in.
Okay, great. So it is a weekly 5-minute show. It starts Friday, the 19th of June. It is called the Integrity Minute Go Fact Yourself Edition. So we are going to explore what the media is educating the public on what is a real fact and what is a public perception of a fact. And I'll give you an example. Patriarchy and the patriarchy. You, Jay Facette, are a patriarch. You nurture your family. You create a great example for the community. But the public is making synonymous patriarchy and the patriarchy, which is this, hierarchical systemic system that oppresses people. So we need to clarify that, just as an example. So it's going to have the middle of it is flipping upside down or myth busting a popular conception. It's called the Go Fact Yourself edition. It will have another edition going forward for standout businesses that practice with integrity. So anyway, it's 5 minutes. It's weekly. It's based on the model of Darren Hardy's Darren Daily, but it's weekly. And we're going to turn around some myths there.
I love that. It's funny because you said you're going to explore the myths in the media and you're going to do it in 5 minutes. It's like you're going to do nothing but that. That's going to be your task for the rest of your life with the amount of BS out there. But
somebody's got to do it.
I love the tightness of it, and to get people to think about let's call it the programming and the conditioning that happens through the media. I love that. So the Integrity Minute, Go Fact Yourself. I love that, and we will see you soon. So go check it out, my friends. Take care. All right, we have Glory Ali coming. Glory, good to see you, my dear.
Hi, how are you?
I am exceptional. How about you?
Doing great.
Tell us about your show. I'm so pleased that you, because I mean, you had a little health thing going on there that I wasn't sure you were going to get yours done. So you've been hustling.
I did. I had COVID-19. I recovered. Yes. Yay me! I survived.
Yes.
Your team was great. This group is great. Great support. I love it. So I, at the end pushed through, had Doug's help, and we got the podcast up, and I'm so excited, super excited.
Awesome. 1 minute. Tell us about it and get some people over there listening.
All right. So our podcast is called The Sisterhood of Successful Entrepreneurs. It's for female entrepreneurs who are either starting their business or are thinking about starting a business. And we're going to have a weekly podcast where we're going to interview guests who are going to tell us everything about all their mistakes, everything that they've done, how they've overcome it. I'm going to have coaching sessions on there as well. It's going to be a lot of fun. So I want everyone to join us over at the Sisterhood of Successful Entrepreneurs podcast.
I love the name. And I know you know this, but I'm not sure all the listeners know, but women are starting businesses at a higher rate than they ever have in the history of the world. And they succeed at a higher rate than male started businesses and those sorts of things. And I think that a lot of that has to do with this idea of sisterhood, support, connection, community, all of the things that you stand for.
Absolutely.
So that is awesome. So gang, click the link, go check out the Sisterhood of Successful Entrepreneurs. And I can't tell you how happy I am that you are healthy and back at full speed. That's so good. All right, my dear. We'll see you this weekend.
All right.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right. Petra, pulling up the back corner. Here we go. How are you, my dear?
Sweetheart, how are you?
I am really, really good.
Good.
This has been exciting.
I have to adjust my camera a little bit so that I'm well in the center. How are
Perfect.
you?
Perfect.
I think I'm a little bit early. I don't know if I'm bumping out somebody, but I thought I will join and listen to the other podcasters, and here I am.
Perfect. So tell us about your show. I know you were one of the early ones getting this done, so I was very impressed. Tell us about Thrive and Win.
Yes. Oh, this is my theme, Thrive and Win. I'm the founder of Thrive and Win in life and business, and it is all about change. And change is my passion, and that's why they also call me the Queen of Change, because not only I have experienced a lot of change in my life, but I help people really people that are ready and willing and able to change what they want to change in their lives, because it's not the outside world, it's us. We have to move forward. So Thrive and Win is very dear to my heart, and I'm working all day on it because it is so necessary, especially in this time, where there is so much change in the world and everything is changing around us, and people are scared about change, and in business to embrace change and implement the changes that are needed, that you live a happy and successful and a life full of fulfillment, freedom, and fun. So that's why I work mainly with entrepreneurs, female entrepreneurs actually, that hire me to be the change, because most overthink and are not enough in their heart and are missing key opportunities in life and business.
Awesome. Well, I love that. So here's the deal, gang. The link is in the chat. Go to Thrive and Win podcast. Listen to Petra. She is brilliant. has a fantastic accent that is soothing beyond belief, and she
I'm
can
the
help
German in New York.
a German in New York, and she has the capacity, both personal development, business development, and network, to make a monumental difference for you. So go listen to the podcast. Petra, thank you so much for being here. I truly appreciate it, and we will see you all soon. All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Okay, and I'm just going to bring that off, and we'll pull this off, and I just want to close the show. Miss Michelle, I'm going to bring you back in just in case there's anything that you want to add that I have missed. So first and foremost, gang, I just want to say, I bow down and acknowledge everyone who got their shows done in such an incredibly short span of time. I want to acknowledge Doug and Strickland from Turnkey Podcast. This would be impossible without all of them. And here's the truth of the matter, is that every single one of the people who are here and the other people in the JVology community who are launching podcasts have unique gifts that they are willing and able to share with you. And if you want people with heart, with skills and abilities to whisper in your ear the secrets that will make a difference for you in your life, I want you to visit the podcast, listen, and get in the routine of that process. And if you want to know more about JVology, if you want to get your own podcast up and running with that incredible offer that Doug gave, you must attend JVology Live. And I will put that link in the chat and give you last thoughts, Michelle, if I missed anything or something else that should be said.
No, I think you did fantastic. Thank you very much. And thank you for putting this on. That was very brave and brazen of you. There's a lot of concern as to how this would all go down, but you knocked it out of the park.
Well, if there is one thing that I am generally fairly willing to do, is to jump in to do crazy shit and see how it goes.
That's why we love you.
All right. Love and appreciate you too, Michelle. We will talk soon.
Have a great
Thanks,
one.
everybody. Bye-bye. If I can find the link to close the room, that is. Otherwise, we'll just hang out here and continue to...
You got wine. I'm good.
Yeah, I was going to say, hey, there's some on the shelf, but it's behind the curtain. All right.
Start the weekend early.
See you later.